And so part of our engagement and what we're looking for during PCI home audit is to just kind of understand their situation, what other assistive technology that they use.
And we should also step back and kind of say that the estimate is 180,000 people live with quadriplegia in the United States, and each year an additional 18,000 suffer a paralyzing spinal cord injury. So these are folks who have a lot of challenges living a life in terms of accessibility, in terms of doing the things that many of us just take for granted day to day. And one of the goals of this initial study is to enable them to have sort of digital autonomy, where they by themselves can interact with a digital device using just their mind, something that you're calling telepathy. So digital telepathy, where a quadriplegic can communicate with a digital device in all the ways that we've been talking about. Control the mouse cursor enough to be able to do all kinds of stuff, including play games and tweet and all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of people for whom the basics of life are difficult because of the things that have happened to them. So,
yeah, I mean, movement is so fundamental to our existence. I mean, even speaking involves movement of mouth, lip, larynx, and without that, it's extremely debilitating. And there are many people that we can help, and I mean, like, especially if you start to kind of look at other forms of movement disorders that are not just from spinal cord injury, but from ALS, MS, or even stroke that leads you, or just aging, right? That leads you to lose some of that mobility, that independence. It's extremely debilitating.
and all of these are opportunities to help people, to help alleviate suffering, to help improve the quality of life. But each of the things you mentioned is its own little puzzle that needs to have increasing levels of capability from a device like a Neuralink device. And so the first one you're focusing on is it's just a beautiful word, telepathy. So being able to communicate using your mind wirelessly with a digital device. Can you just explain this, exactly what we're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly that. I mean, I think if you are able to control a cursor and able to click and be able to get access to computer or phone, I mean, the whole world opens up to you. And I mean, I guess the word telepathy, if you kind of think about that as just definitionally being able to transfer information from my brain to your brain without using some of the physical faculties that we have, like voices.
But the interesting thing here is, I think the thing that's not obviously clear is how exactly it works. So in order to move a cursor,
Mm-hmm.
there's at least a couple of ways of doing that. So one is you imagine yourself maybe moving a mouse with your hand,
Mm-hmm.
or you can then, which no one talked about, like imagine moving the cursor with your mind. Like I don't, but it's like there is a cognitive step here that's fascinating because you have to use the brain and you have to learn how to use the brain,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of have to figure it out dynamically, like because you reward yourself if it works. So you like, I mean, there's a step that
Yeah.
it's just a fascinating step because you have to get the brain to start firing in the right way,
Yeah.
and you do that by imagining like fake it till you make it. And all of a sudden it creates the right kind of signal that if decoded correctly can create the kind of effect. And then there's like noise around that you have to figure all of that out. But on the human side, imagine the cursor moving is what you have to do.
Yeah. He says using the force.
The force.